already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. The Radman coming at you. Man, coming back from the West Coast to the East Coast is something else. That hell of a travel, but made it back. Snowy. Got the plow, man. My man T, excellent job with the plowing service. Got me plowed out yesterday afternoon. Got things rolling. Radman almost back in sights, guys. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning, J-GILLZ. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing?
Oh, man, good morning to the Beat family. Radman, you went from 65 degrees to negative 15 degrees, and I know you're feeling every bit of it. Welcome back to Rochester. It's cold as a mug, but you know what? We're happy to be here each and every Saturday morning. We had the All-Star Weekend. There's so much to talk about.
It is. It's definitely so much to talk about. Got the flamethrower shirt on, the Taylor and Swift shirt from Super Bowl week. Tyrod Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the show with you and DeAndre Smith promoting that DQ special over there with the flamethrower and the whole 9 yards. They got that on and popping over there. Hell of a weekend hell of a week. Almost 2 weeks out there in San Francisco. A lot going on. Definitely, we're going to get some interviews in a few minutes, guys. J-GILLZ, what's your comments from the game on what you witnessed back on Sunday afternoon?
So as you know, you guys know I picked the Patriots to get it done. I'm one who thought that, I'm all for a good story. I'm all for prestige. And I thought the Patriots getting back on glory, to me, would have been better for sports. But what I will say is this Seattle defense, as the Fanatic and Bilal had talked about, it's really, truly a special unit. When I looked at the team and I look at what GM Snyder was able to do, and I really looked at those drafts, man, I'm talking about for the last 3 drafts, literally, no misses, straight hits at every position.
Yes.
From the left tackle, Witherspoon, top 5 pick, and then they double back with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then they go and draft all these guys, the D line, the D tackle, Kenneth Walker, literally all self-built from Seattle. So when I look at how this team was built, I just got a lot of respect for that general manager and what he was able to do. Flipping Russell Wilson at that stage in his career to build those draft picks and build this team, letting DK walk, knowing that you had a guy like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Man, I'm telling you, Snyder, kudos to him. This is his second Super Bowl. Man, I'm just, I think the Buffalo Bills' Brandon Beane can take a few notes, if you know what I mean, from drafting and developing these players. In this 3-year window of the draft, they've developed those guys. They got the right pieces in. They built the culture, and they got the coach right, too. So, although I would have liked to see the Patriots win, you got to give kudos to the Seattle and what they were able to build over there. And I think it's going to be a pretty strong unit moving forward. A lot of those guys bearing, those paydays. You got some guys ready to get paid, and that's always the thing right there, right? But luckily, they don't have a quarterback that needs to get paid, So I think they're going to be pretty good for years to come.
Yeah, after that performance on Sunday, he don't need a dime more, man. I wouldn't give Sam Darnold a dime more, man, or a penny more, man. Hell no, man. Big time. That was the worst Super Bowl I ever seen for both starting quarterbacks, man. The 2 starting quarterbacks was like, whoo, man, it made it rough to watch. But we had, in the stadium, everybody was talking about a little bit of everything. So, in the stadium, people said it was boring on TV. It was great live, man. Seeing it live and watching it, man, and man, it was cold out there. It was like being in Buffalo, actually, with the cool breeze, man, coming through, man. You notice everybody had leather coats on. They had their jackets on. Some people had gloves on because that wind off the lake was no joke, man. It was where we were, the section I was in, man, we was cutting like a knife in there, but it was a good view from where we were. And did you vote for John Snyder? I did for the Pro Football Writers Association. He was my pick for a GM of the year. Did you vote for him, or who was your choice, J-GILLZ?
Now I didn't go with him. I went with the Eagles again, but John Snyder, I should have did some more research because, man, from you nailed it. You nailed it. Every aspect of being a general manager, he got it right. I'm not sure those contracts, you know what I mean? And that's another conversation for another day. But
Right.
he got it right with getting that team together, getting the pieces together, finding those guys. I mean, literally, you look at that depth chart on Seattle, you look at those guys top to bottom, first, second, third. He even got some 6th-round picks. All hits, no misses. I have not seen that average in a while. That's some Howie Roseman stuff. You know, I have not seen that in a minute. All hits, no misses. Man, come on, man.
Yeah, and he also keep in mind, J-GILLZ, the people, the average football fan, or a lot of football fans may not realize, both of his safeties were rookies. Devon Spoon, Witherspoon, and man, their starting safeties were rookies. I mean, they even had a rookie corner. I mean, for him to pick like that, and then Brandon Beane running around here talking BS, man, and losing players and picking guys that are hurt and guys in the 6th, 6th, and 7th round to start. And this guy showed you what a general manager should be, not shining Shane Buechler over and over again. That's not how you get it done in the National Football League. And I think, like you said, John Snyder came out of the Ron Wolf tree of general managers out of Green Bay.
Yep.
So ironically, the general manager from the Patriots, he came from the Ron Wolf. Both of them worked together in Green Bay. So
yes,
they both the general managers who went up against each other for the Patriots and the Seahawks both came out of Green Bay, out of Ron Wolf's. And we always heard about Ron Wolf through the Brett Favre and all the years that he was dealing as the general manager there. The Bills should have found somebody like that, not the guy who get the coffee and donuts, man, running the errands for the damn general manager.
Right.
You don't pick nobody like that.
And another guy from the tree, John Eric Sullivan, the new hired general manager for the Miami Dolphins. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh, that's right. That's another one, man.
Oh,
That's unbelievable. We got Top Gun down on the Beltway. Our main man, Morris Thompson, welcome to the show down there in D.C. I'm sure you don't have as much snow as we have here, but we do have, the good thing is we have Bilal with us. Bilal,
yes.
Welcome back to Real Sports Analyst Bilal. Welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing so far. What I wanted to, my 2 cents on the game. I'm a football guy, and I avoid the word, the phrase football purist, because I think, I used to hear that growing up, and it would just bother me because it didn't allow for the game to evolve the way every sport organically evolves over time. But I'm a football guy, and I absolutely loved the game. I didn't think it was boring at all. When you think about elite level football play, one penalty the entire game that I saw, and it was on special teams. So you're talking about a clean, high elite level played football game. And both defenses came with their A game. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, to me, it wasn't boring at all. You had 2 teams at the top of their craft, and just a couple of quick points. One, I think is a tragedy when the casual fan says it was a boring game, because what the NFL always does is the NFL knows that we're so socialized in this American sports fandom to high scoring games, that what the NFL does when we end up with defensive games, they go change the rules some more to favor the offense so we can have more high scoring games. But it doesn't, you know what I mean? But it takes away from the actual quality of the football product that we're seeing on the field. So I thought it was a phenomenal game. Again, 2 teams that played exceptionally well coached, again, not penalized. And the reality is just that defenses over time catch up to the offense. And so now hopefully the NFL doesn't adjust and make some more rules again to favor the offense. And then, but the other thing that I would say is that, in regards to the quarterback play, Seattle had New England's number. They had Drake May's number. And to that point, I feel like we do a disservice saying they just had Drake May's number. Who also should have been at that podium is his name just escaped me. Offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, yeah. He should have been at that podium because every everything that New England tried to do. Seattle shut it down, and then Seattle didn't have a counterpunch to it. New England didn't have a counterpunch to anything Seattle was trying to do. Seattle dominated on defense, and conversely, I feel like Mike Vrabel being a defensive guy as well as Mike McDaniels. And again, you got two defensive coaches. You're gonna have a high quality football product on the defensive side of the ball when you give guys with that level of defensive caliber 2 weeks to prepare. You got Mike Vrabel 2 weeks, and I think his game plan and his scheme was to if we can get some old Sam Darnold, then we give ourselves a shot to win a game. And so even though Sam Darnold didn't play the way he did in the NFC Championship game against the Rams, I think he did everything that he was supposed to do in that game in order to put his team in position to win. And that's, they only got field goals in the first 4 drives, but again, it was a byproduct of Sam Darnold not making the big mistake. And so I would say kudos to him on that.
Absolutely.
Last two things. J-GILLZ, I hear you, man. The 2 words that jumped out at me are culture and development. All week, the 2 weeks leading to the Super Bowl, we heard about Sam Darnold and development. You know what I mean? And so I think to your point about the GMs and their draft picks and developing those players, so it doesn't just speak to Sam Darnold and his development, but when you have guys and you can make the right draft picks, you can develop talent, you can get a Super Bowl product. And in culture, you got to have culture. You got AJ Brown in Philadelphia winning Super Bowls, but he's sitting there, angry about the offense. Man, that's not the culture you should have as a reigning Super Bowl champion. Got to get the culture right.
Absolutely. You got to get the culture right. Leonard Big Cat Williams was a guy they brought in several years ago to Seattle Seahawks. And just recently, DeMarcus Lawrence from the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody at the Dallas Cowboys loved DeMarcus Lawrence, but he fell out with the owner over there. And DeMarcus Lawrence got shipped off to Seattle. And in the very same season that his first year in Seattle helps them win a Super Bowl. You get guys that still got something left in the tank. You don't keep going. Notice in Buffalo, you keep going for Jordan Phillips. You keep going for Shaq Lawson. We done seen this program. Try somebody different. Why couldn't you get DeMarcus Lawrence? Why couldn't the Bills go after him? The Bills go after the same old guys. Hopefully the new regime will make those changes. But John Snyder, hell of a job with it. And hell of a job, Mike McDaniel, head coach. Let's hear what Mike McDonald has to say about winning the Super Bowl and his assistant coaches helping him. He became the first head coach ever to win the Super Bowl and make the defensive calls during the game. Let's hear what he had to say.
Coach, what does it take, you becoming the first head coach, to call the defensive scheme, to call the different defensive plays? What kind of coordination does that take for you to do that with your staff, to make it all work out?
I'm glad you asked that, because it really is about our staff, filling in all those areas that lets you do both jobs, So I think we've gotten to a point on defense where it's like, look, I'm saying the words on Sundays, but we know what we're going to call. We know why we're going to call it. They've helped build it. They've handled all the details throughout the week to let me do head coaching stuff. Leslie Frazier deserves a massive shout out on that front. AD is a tremendous defensive coordinator. You just go right down the list on our staff of like what they contribute to the game plan and how we call games throughout the game. It's not just like me on the headset just deciding what we're doing from play to play. There's a lot of feedback. There's a lot of kind of recalibration as games go in order to make adjustments, and it takes a lot off my plate, and I think that's what shows. I'm happy having this press conference right now. If Leslie wasn't a Seahawk, he was the first person I called when we got the job, and hopefully I made it very clear to him that we needed him, and he's just a great compliment to my skill sets, my personality. He's such a great connector with the players. He's such a great communicator. He calls our bluff when we're full of crap on defense and we do stupid stuff and game planning. Too much more than we want.
There you go. There you go, guys. Importance of Leslie Frazier as being a key component to the defensive side of the ball. They were playing a variation of the 46 defense, the legendary Buddy Ryan defense that the Chicago Bears used to win the 1985 Super Bowl, the 1984-85 Super Bowl. The Chicago Bears. Everybody remember the Chicago Shuffle and the whole 9 yards. You saw remnants of that defense in their Super Bowl win. And, of course, the Baltimore Ravens still use that. Leslie Frazier said that McDonald came over from the Ravens, and the Ravens, because Rex Ryan was over there, who is Buddy Ryan's son, he implemented that, and they still in Baltimore still use variations of the 46 defense as well. So that lets you know the importance of Leslie Frazier. We're going to get back to Leslie Frazier in a minute, but let's hear what Leonard Big Cat Williams, defensive tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, had to say about the win.
The journey means a lot. It's what makes this moment feel so special. Not just my own individual journey of being injured, being traded, all types of things. Being on a lot of losing seasons and all that stuff. But also just our journey that we've had as a team this year. And it's been beautiful. It's been a dream this year.
How conscious were you trying to get shut out?
What's that?
How conscious were you trying to get shut out? It never happened in the Super Bowl, and you obviously came
I
close.
mean, yeah, once we got to halftime and there was 0 points, I think we came out of halftime saying we have enough points to win the game. We don't need any more points. As a defense, we take pride in stopping offenses. And, we've been calling ourselves the dark side this year. And we thought that was going to put a stamp. I think we still did put a stamp on who we are and put a stamp on the dark side. But we were definitely seeking that goose egg.
As far as the dark side.
Absolutely. That was excellent by Leonard Big Cat Williams. And those comments were brought to you by Kimmy Does It Best custom web design and ongoing maintenance. Kimmy can help your business online grow. Visit KimmyDoesItBest.com. Contact her at support@KimmyDoesItBest.com. Excellent job. Check out our website. Check out our entire website, RealDealSportsShow.com. Check it out, everybody. Kimmy does it best. She does a hell of a job with our website and keeps updating it on a weekly basis. Our Winner's Edge. Thank you so much, Kimmy, for doing an outstanding job on the Winner's Edge, specifically this segment this season. And look forward to having you back next year. Glad you were able to make it out to San Francisco and be with us out and celebrate the 30-week season. I mean, 30 weeks is a long time, guys. A long time to go with this season, for sure. Fanatic, welcome to the show. Did you hear the comments that the head coach gave to Leslie Frazier to help put together that? Did you hear those key? I thought that was very telling right there. What are your comments, Fanatic?
Hey, very telling. Hey, good morning, Real Deal Sports Show family. Don't forget, happy Valentine's Day. We showing the love as we always do. What's up, Bilal? Hey, J-GILLZ, the Radman, Internet Passport, the whole crew. I know the Beltway is getting live already this morning with Morris. And so, to me, I thought you were absolutely right. I'm glad that Leslie Frazier got his flowers, because he played an integral part. And again, he was an unsung hero for the Bills. We didn't hear a lot in the media besides from you, Radman. So again, shout out to you with that reporting. And so you can hear the deep impact. To me, the biggest piece is, who did Mike McDonald say his first call was to? It was to Leslie Frazier. That's the first call. That can tell you there was nothing more important than that. So shout out to Leslie Frazier and the work that he did, and he's a champion again.
Absolutely. I know, Bilal, your comment, what was that take on the head coach acknowledging that the very importance of Leslie Frazier coming on that staff? And also, remember last week we heard him say, Leslie Frazier says, it's nice to have someone that you can trust. They trust and value your judgment and your knowledge of the game of football. Remember what he said last week, what Leslie Frazier said in the interview last week, Bilal?
Absolutely. And again, it was a great interview, Radman, of not only Mike McDonald, but of Coach Leslie Frazier last week, and kind of making those connections. I thought it was so telling that Coach McDonald understood that if in order for this to work at all, I think it shows that he went into the Seattle head coaching position knowing that he wanted to call the defensive plays, and in order to do that, you got to have the right people around you. And so he understood that if I'm going to do this, the person I need and to call Coach Leslie Frazier again, and as we touched on at the media day with the teams, Coach Frazier had as many surrounding him as any player or coach at the booth. Getting interviews, and it just speaks to how well respected his football mind is. And you just hear it. I was just soaking it up. And he and Radman, it was almost like it wasn't an interview. They were having just a conversation. You know what I mean? And they were talking about the Buffalo, and so and that was one thing that Coach Frazier brought up, was just being able to be in an environment where his acumen is appreciated, and he, you know what I mean, and valued in a way that no big eyes, no little U's. But again, it goes right back to culture. You got to have the right culture in place. And Coach Mike McDonald knew that in order to have a Super Bowl caliber team, you can't go in there with ego. And when it's about you or the ego, you end up now again because you took over the defense with 13 seconds left. You decide to fire a guy whose football mind and defensive mind is respected throughout the league, so much so that Coach McDonald, he was the first call and the first person he could think of, because again, in order to have a philosophy work, you got to have the right people around you.
Absolutely. Right. Let's hear what the losing quarterback had to say. Hey, I couldn't leave the New England Patriots out. I had to go over and I had to get a question in on Drake May. Let's hear what New England Patriots quarterback Drake May had to say about his performance in this Super Bowl.
Why didn't they open the game up so late and wait until the third quarter to really open? You guys look like you opened up the game.
Say that again?
Why did you open up the offense? Or not you and the coaching staff open up the offense so late into this game?
Yeah, I mean, when you're down, I think it was 19-0, you got to start throwing the football. It's hard to keep running when you're down like that. So you're able to make some plays, but, a little too late. And our defense played a hell of a game tonight. And, it didn't show up, how we plan on showing up offensively. It starts with me.
It sure did. He did take advantage of that. He did say that. And also, I was standing on his right side of his throwing shoulder, and he had bubbles and marks where it looks like where a needle was wet, and you have an adverse reaction. You get your skin starts bubbling up, almost like where black people we get keloid skin and what we call keloid and things of that nature for us. But his skin, you can see right where they gave him a shot in his throwing shoulder. So he wasn't right for the game, and Josh McDaniel must have thought he wasn't right either, because. I mean, why you wait to 19-0 to start throwing where we could see it there live in the stadium? Mac Hollins was killing. I don't know. Mac Hollins is an amazing cat, man. You watch him, you don't see what is he doing? He reminds me of Stevie Johnson when Stevie Johnson was the Bills. They do moves that look real basic moves. And man, next thing you know, the defender falling down and tripping, stumbling, and I mean, he was open. He made the guy stumble one time. Mac Hollins went over and asked the guy if he was all right. The guy pushed him. I was cracking. Oh man, it was so funny, man. I said, "Damn, being the security guy." He said, "You see that?" I said, "Yeah." He went to go help the dude up after he broke his ankles, man.
Dang.
And the guy got mad, and we could see that, but we don't understand why. He waited to go to Mac Hollins until the end of the game, and when he did, he caught a touchdown pass on the first one. And and it was like it just seemed like they didn't have confidence. The offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniel, to your question earlier, Bilal, seemed like he didn't have confidence in what his quarterback could do, possibly due to the injury, and also that weak offensive line as well. Fanatic, what's your comment?
Yeah. Well, to me, I mean, again, the Patriots were 4-13, and they were 11 like the last 2 years. And hey, shout out to the Pats, my Patriots. Of course, claiming them. Hey, they got 2 rookies on the left side. My wife, happy Valentine's Day, my beautiful wife. Let me make sure I say that.
Must be a young married cat, man. Ain't no dude 20, 30 years into that, man. It gotta be, man. Talking like this.
Well, hey, I'm glad that's why I got OGs like you to let me know. But yeah, still young in the game. But my wife reminded me. She was like, "Wait a minute, that's Will Campbell." I used to see him regularly at Chipotle on campus. And that, as we're watching the Super Bowl, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, that's right. He was on our LSU campus just last fall and early spring, and now he's playing against men. grown men who've been in professional gyms. And then that reminded me, I don't know Jarrett Wilson, but he coming out of Georgia. So we got 2 rookies on the left side. I think that age really showed what was going on. But Radman, I'm really interested in what you said. I think there is something more going on with Drake May's shoulder because it looked like he was always trying to guide it. He had no real feel for where it was going, where obviously earlier in the year, he was deadly accurate from 40 yards, putting the ball on a dime where only a Kyle Williams or a Pop Douglas, a.k.a. Demario Douglas, could get the rock. My only real piece about it now in retrospect is how hurt was Drake May. The young offensive line couldn't really do anything. They're going to get better and grow together. But the real thing to me is, what in the world, where was Stephon Diggs? How could McDaniels, it is criminal to me that Stephon Diggs in the slot, how he could not become an outlet for Drake May on those, especially on those blitz and third down. If it wasn't for me, I think we all could kind of see it. It seemed like every third down, Seattle was going to bring a blitz. And it kept coming from the secondary. How do we not throw right behind it or on the other side of it? And I really just thought, I was really surprised with McDaniels in all these big games with having sometimes a less inferior team. How did he not get Stephon Diggs more involved? But again, Radman, that shoulder part where you talk about that for us, like you said, keloid skin, that is really interesting.
Yes, indeed, and especially when you get to see them up close in that fashion, you can see where it was coming from. But I can tell you where Stephon Diggs was. Half the time he was in the stands trying to keep his 2 women apart because they were great. Those 2 women of his were ready to throw down up there in the stands, man. As we found out after the game, I didn't know it during the game. He got one woman on this side, one on the other side, and the other one down on the field. His main one, Cardi B, on the field throwing it down during Bad Bunny's show, man. Oh man, he had a lot to worry about, man. He had a lot of off the field concerns, but that's what happens when you have 4 women pregnant in the same football season. Damn, man. Look at that, man. 4 women. This dude had 4 women pregnant in the same year, man. Damn,
wait, what?
What was up with that dude? Allegedly, man. Allegedly 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. Man.
Yes.
I said, man, he set some record, right, Bilal? That got to be a record, right?
Yeah, that's
damn. I ain't never heard of this one.
Yeah,
that's Avery Edwards type style, man.
Yeah, it's that kind of crazy going on. I would say to your point, Radman, I do think if there was anything that I feel like the Josh McDaniels in the Patriots didn't try sooner, it was going to tempo. Going no huddle, hurry up. You know what I mean? Because what the only thing that they had a shot at trying to do was not letting Seattle be able to get their defensive adjustments or packages in it, and they were doing it at will. They were doing it at will because when the offense is running their natural offense, and I think this is part of that, right? They had the first couple of drives, they had a little bit of success moving the ball those first couple of drives. So because they had some success, even though the drives ultimately stalled out, I think they go back to their huddle and they're thinking, hey, this stuff is working. We just got to execute it. If we execute and we don't put ourselves behind the sticks, have negative plays, we execute. And it took too long before they got out of that mindset and figured out like this isn't working. We got to try anything at this point. If they would have come out in the second half, because I don't think you want to do it first half because then you give again defensive minds like Leslie Frazier and Mike McDonald time to go adjust to it at halftime. If they come out in the second half, go into an up tempo offense, and again this this fed into it. The game was only 12-0, so we're talking a 2-score game. As much as they were unable to move the ball, they were thinking 1 score puts us right back in. Even when the game got to 19-0, one touchdown score put the game in a space where you're like, hey, it could get real interesting. So I think those 2 factors played into kind of, not going to a more no huddle up tempo offense sooner, and the fact that early on they weren't able to move the ball the first couple of drives, and so they were thinking, man, if we could just execute. But to Fanatic's point, that left side got dominated. They took advantage of those 2 rookies, as you should. If you line up a rookie against me, I remember looking across the line and saying, man, I'm about to eat his food. He about to be dog food. That's just, and so and that internal clock that Drake may had, it kept getting sped up. He wasn't going to be able to complete passes, complete balls. The internal clock got sped up by that defense, and they were coming from everywhere. He couldn't get a pre-snap read on what the defense was really giving him beforehand, and so those exotic blitzes were just, again, they were throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And J-GILLZ, and we're moving up. As we saw, it was a total domination with the defensive side of the ball and how the Seahawks dominated the game. And you see the coaching changes that were made in Seattle and how successful John Snyder with the moves are. Let's move on over to the Buffalo Bills and their coaching hiring. And 71-year-old John Fox coming in from Carolina Panther days. How on that, J-GILLZ?
Man, yeah, he's just trying to find some sort of senior advisor in the room. Similar, we saw Mike McDonald go and get Leslie Frazier. You got to have some sort of guy who's experienced, and he went and got John Fox. Probably got him straight out of the nursing home. 70 years old is a little old to be, you know what I mean, handling business like that. But Joe Brady's clearly trying to find some sort of guy he can lean on at a senior level.
Yes, indeed. And also to bring, and that I think that was a Brandon Beane move, because Brandon Beane was busy getting the coffee and donuts in Carolina when John, he was there, and he got to see John Fox take that team to the Super Bowl and mess it up by going for 2-point conversions against the New England Patriots in that Super Bowl. I believe that was 03 or 02 or 03 back then. But he had a chance to beat New England, and instead he went for 2-point conversions, a couple of it where he should just kick the point, put the extra point, put the points on the board, and would have a chance to win. So obviously he's seeing how Leslie Frazier helped as assistant coach help Mike McDonald win a Super Bowl, and he sees this guy needs some help because he's Joe Brady, first-time head coach. All these young guys. I mean, these young guys across the league, instead of getting the veteran guys like the Leslie Frazier and make them head like McDonald said and Leslie Frazier said last week, Leslie Frazier did everything he did everything that a head coach should be doing, but has the title of assistant head coach. He did everything that a head coach is responsible for. And that seems to be the new genre of what they're trying to do with these young boys who are really unprepared to be a head coach at this early age. They're trying to be the next McVay, like the McVay came out of the Rams. But people forget McVay's uncle was a big-time executive with the National Football League, and McVay was around the NFL since he was 8-9 years old. So he was with the 49ers. He was with a lot of big-time teams that his grandfather was the executive of. So he has a lot of experience of being around as a kid and a teenager in the NFL, and it kind of sunk in, and he's an excellent head coach there with the Rams currently. The Bills, Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, he's going to call a lot of the shots and help Brady over the hump with his play calling, because his play calling wasn't the greatest. I mean, he did have the best runner in the league, though. He had the rushing title. The offensive line is getting older. You got some backup. How much longer can this offensive line hold up? Hopefully they can hold up long enough. They did bring back about 20 coaches from the Buffalo Bills as well, from the Sean McDermott team. Kelly Skipper, the running backs coach, is back. You got about 10 coaches that came back off. Bilal, what did that tell you that he brought back several coaches from Sean McDermott's staff? What does that say?
You must have read my mind, Radman. What it says is that, the coaching staff wasn't the problem. You know what I mean? At large, you know what I mean? And even from an on-field product standpoint, as much as they didn't get over the big game, they didn't get to the big game, that the issue was whatever friction existed between McDermott and Beane and kind of that whole dialogue about going to the management and saying, hey, you want a Super Bowl run, I need a Super Bowl roster. And however he worded it then. I think the other thing it says, though, it speaks to this year being that vacuum that, again, when you didn't there was no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Pat Mahomes when you don't have those guys, those names in the postseason, and the big fish, the big dog is Josh Allen, they were saying, McDermott, get it done one way or another, or you're gone. Again, when you don't have any other big dogs in the playoffs or the postseason, you got to get it done. There was no excuse for not getting it done, and that was so. To me, it says that they want to maintain continuity going into this season as they should. You don't want to drop off, and I hope John Fox isn't more so in a advisory role. He's been out of coaching so long that I think the game, again, it can evolve and pass you by. That happened with Joe Gibbs when the Redskins tried to bring him back. The game had just passed him up.
Exactly. And I think, as you can see, this is definitely a Brandon Beane move, bringing somebody, and that just shows that he recognizes that this guy, Joe Brady, is in over his head right now. He needs somebody else, somebody, and I guess that's who he knows, because once again, he reaches back to Carolina to bring another Carolina retread up. And John Fox, like you said, see if he can guide him through some of this. Leslie Frazier is 66 years old as well, so these guys do have a lot of knowledge, and they can help him with some of the ins and outs. But how much stamina does John Fox have to work with these young players? And if the Bills play a 3-4, because Linhart is a 3-4 guy, it's going to be interesting how he moves these linebackers around. He got Dorian Williams with some good speed that would be a good fit for a 3-4. Matt Milano got to go. It's time for Matt Milano. You got to draft some linebackers or bring in some guy. Are they going to bring some guys in from Denver or some guys that came through the Denver program as linebackers to come in? Because the Bills definitely, if you're going to go to a 3-4, but then again, as you remember when the Bills started running on Denver in the playoff game, in the second half, the halftime move by the Broncos defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, who also should have a head coaching job this season. He didn't even get any damn interviews. That's a damn shame. Vance Joseph should have had a head coaching job in this cycle, not these young punks coming on talking about pass game coordinator and all this crap, man, and the Kubiak boys and all of that. No, Vance Joseph switched to a 4-3. He went to a traditional 4-men on the line of scrimmage, and that did slow the Bills' running game down. So it's got to be a hybrid type 3-4, 4-3 type move that Linhart is going to be bringing in to Buffalo. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of contribution John Fox is going to have to the coaching staff. But the Bills do have a lot of coaches that were already there. I like Kelly Skipper. I always enjoyed him as a running backs coach. I thought he could have been elevated to assistant head coach position for the many years that he's been in the league. So we're going to see how that transgresses and as we continue, as the Bills continue to make coaching changes. Now they got their coaching staff set. Primarily, they may bring somebody else in as well. They got the special teams, the defensive coordinator, the OC. Joe Brady running the show. Let's see if he can understand him, and John Fox can help him and give him the guidance that he needs. And the next segment of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance Agency. Auto, home, health, and life insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road. Give her a call. Hey, when I got back home, I saw a lot of sliding and slipping and sliding out there. Hey, if you have an accident or something, give her a call, 585-360-0094. The claim department works really quick. It's not like some of those other insurance companies that give you the runaround. They come and handle their business and get you straightened out as quickly as possible. And also, we have Advantage Federal Credit Union, AdvantageFCU.org, AdvantageFCU.org. February is student month. They got free checking accounts for students the entire month of February. Get a chance to go over there and check out Advantage Federal Credit Union. And also, I know since you've been back, you know where I gotta go to dinner, right? Right, Bilal? You know I gotta go. I gotta experience.
Oh, yeah.
I missed that. I've ate all those damn tacos, man. I'm all tacoed out, man. Damn, they sell you some tacos over there, and they're good too, man. They ain't that bad, but they give you a lot of tacos. They give you a lot of cilantro. A lot of salads with all kinds of stuff on it I hadn't seen in quite a while. Oh, man, they even give you pickled broccoli, man. I had pickled broccoli and pickled carrots. I said, what the hell is this? The guy said, this is pickled. I said, pickled. I said, oh, it's so good. Man, it was good out there in San Fran. Good eating out there. And Minnie Bell Soul Food Restaurant in the Fillmore District, I got to give you a shout out. If you're going to the Bay Area, check this sister out, man. Minnie Bell Soul Food Restaurant. Check her out. But here in Rochester, I'm back home. You know it's time to experience the award-winning, authentic Indian food in a warm, inviting atmosphere. I'm talking about not only Delhi of India. The lunch buffet served 11:30 to 2 p.m. and dinner 4:40 to 8:30 p.m. 3259 South Winton Road in the Win Jeff Plaza. Delhi of India, get the best buffet, voted the best buffet in all of Monroe County. Gotta go check them out. And no doubt about it, Bilal. Let's move on, Bilal. Let's talk a little bit of NBA All-Star Weekend. I had the pleasure to see the Golden State Warriors a couple games this week against the Memphis Grizzlies, where they barely won 114-113. Horford got the rebound and gave it to his teammate for the winning layup. And then they got blown out by the San Antonio Spurs. I was shocked how they looked tired. The Spurs had played the night before. They whooped the Lakers by 26, came in, got down by 13 in the third quarter. I said, okay, Golden State gonna win this one. In that fourth quarter, it looked like, man, they look old, man. Golden State looked old in that fourth quarter, and they ended up losing by 16, man. They ended up losing that game by 16 points. Bilal, your comments?
That's the tough part about having, you know what I mean? So when you have championship teams, pedigree, teams with championship pedigree, they've won titles in the past, and they're already longer in the tooth. Those teams, it's hard for them to get up for regular season games at this point because they know, like, we're just trying to get to the playoffs. So the grind from the NBA season it's I really feel like this. Those teams like the Warriors, that they're excited to come back at the start of the season. So maybe those first 10 games, but those games 11 to like 65 get real. It's real tough to get up for those games because it's a long season and they're an older team, so they're just trying to survive the season. And so a team like the Spurs with that young roster they got, and man. The fact of the matter is that Victor Wembanyama, man, he otherworldly. This young man is out. I mean, he's an alien. The stuff he can do at 7'6" tall.
Yeah.
I mean, the fluidity that he moves with, the shooting touch that he has. I mean, the ball handling, the athleticism. It is like where did this kid come from?
And he's so skilled, and they got his basketball IQ was so high, man. He was 1 for 7 in the first half on 3-pointers, and I kept saying, when they gonna get him in the paint? And sure enough, the coach put him in the paint in the second half. Oh my gosh, man, he lit him up in the second half, and he ended up being their top scorer. And De'Aaron Fox was their top scorer with 27 points. Beyonce had 24, and they just those two guys lit up. And Dylan Harper. Oh man, he was getting. I mean, man, that's the first time I seen them this season, and to see them live. They got a lot of young talent on that squad.
Yeah.
Bilal.
They're young, they're hungry, and they play physical.
Yeah,
they play They play a lot more physical than you'd expect them to play because none of them are super big guys, except for Wembanyama's height. They're not big body guys. So to see them play physical is like it's a little surprising, but they are, to your point, just amazingly talented on the defensive end. They move around. They close gaps. They put pressure on the ball, and then anything that they miss, Wembanyama's cleaning up at the rim. I mean, and what's also impressive about Wemby is that he's doing it efficiently. He's averaging, all these points, and he's still on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, they took him out.
Restriction.
And BacSpin, BacSpin, I hear the music, BacSpin coming in. BacSpin could be playing because in the fourth quarter, Draymond Green started walking up the court. I said, damn, this dude walking up the court. He ain't even running no more. And him and Al Horford got worn out by that big man. And the guy's legs are so skinny, man. He looked like he needs some food. He ain't got no butt whatsoever, man. I said, damn, look at this dude. This dude look like he coming from a famine country or something, man. They gotta give him some beans and rice or something, man.
He needs some protein or something. He needs some videos.
Yeah, that's right. We gotta get him over the Italian. Absolutely, because man, I was like, man, how this guy? He don't look that strong, but man, he's strong enough right now man, the way he handled the Golden State Warriors in that fourth quarter, man, and De'Aaron Fox, man, was killing them with the threes, man. Then they had to come out and try to cover him. And he shook the guy so bad. The guy still looking, Gary Payton II still looking for him, man. I mean, the whole crowd just went wild. Said, and the lady next to me said, "Damn, that De'Aaron Fox, when he was with Sacramento, he gave us trouble, man. This dude, she knew her back." She knew her basketball.
He's a heck of a point guard. He's a heck of a point guard. So fast with the ball, and again, he's got a shooting touch out of this world, man. The Spurs are going to be a tough out. That's all. I'll say that they are going to be. They will contend. I think they have what it takes to possibly push OKC to the brink.
Yes, and BacSpin. If you want to try out, give the Golden State Warriors a tryout. They got a lot of old cats out there, man. They may get for this season. They may give you a run for at least give you a 2-week contract. BacSpin.
Man, I stay in my lane, man. I stay in my lane. I don't do nothing I don't do. You know what I'm saying? So if you see me doing it, I do it pretty well. You know? And that's how. I'm too old for that, George. I gave up that there. If it's not, I'm an athlete, but now I curb. I used to play volleyball. I gave that up. Everything, man. I'll play horse. That's about it. That's all see me do. Let's play horse. But I'm not playing 21. I'm not full court. Nope. I'm done with all of that.
Did the Cowboys give up on DeMarcus Lawrence too soon, or was it a good thing that he left?
I think, D-Law was the man. We could definitely use him, but you gotta do what you gotta do for you. And I don't see the Cowboys franchise going anywhere anytime soon. D-Law's, up in age, and he's coming on, the tail end of his career. So you got to make a move and do what's best for you, and I think that's what he's doing. And hey, it is what it is. I'm not mad at him for
it. That's good. And I can't leave out Jamaican Soul Food for the Soul, 211 Genesee Street, featuring Soul Food Sundays, open noon to 9 p.m. and on Sunday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. But noon to 9 on Sundays, 11 to 9 Tuesday through Saturday. Food for the Soul. Check out that serious Soul Food Sunday for sure. BacSpin. Bilal, in closing?
Yeah, I think it was a great NFL season. I'm interested to see what all the offseason, kind of produces. Free agency starts in a few weeks, March 11th. So I think it's going to be an exciting offseason this season. I do think the Cowboys are going to go all in because that offense this year was stellar. Dak was an MVP candidate had they made a serious playoff push, and I think next year we haven't had a back-to-back, a repeat champion in a long time in the NFL or the NBA either, for that matter. So I think this season, the rest of this NBA season is gonna heat up after All-Star Weekend. I just hope we get a good game. I think we'll need to talk next week about some of those comments KD made going into this All-Star Weekend, and then next football season. Listen, we're gonna be locked in and loaded.
Absolutely.
Gotta leave it there, fellas. Thank y'all so much, man. Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5, and we look forward to checking in with you guys again next week. Enjoy All-Star Weekend, fellas.
And hope we get a good game tomorrow. Hopefully it's hope we get some type of competitive game tomorrow in that NBA All-Star.
Right.
Keep it where you need it, Rock City. Coming up, it's the Back of Time Mix Show right here on the Beat.